All right. Welcome back. Legally Blind Journal number 38 since becoming legally blind. And yeah, it's been about a year, which is kind of funny to say. But so, kind of what's going on. Things are going okay. I got a bunch of migraine issues, like I talked about in the last video. We'll see how those go over the next couple of weeks. And did have an interesting interaction with a big box store. I won't name their name, but they're blue and they do a lot of tools and stuff. And so, at any rate, so this big box store has an app, like a lot of them do. And I was at a self checkout, and my mother had driven me there, and so she's standing there, and it's challenging to do that stuff, but so I'm not as quick as I used to be, obviously. But so I'm trying to look on the app. I've got since the phone really can't get big enough without distorting the stuff so bad you can't use it. I'm at 160% blow up on it as it is. The phone's about 2 inches off my face, basically. Almost touch my nose for me to see it. And so I'm doing that, and I got the some little gift certificate rewards things. If you spend money, they give you money. So scan those, no problem. And while I was in the wallet, I noticed there's a $75 gift card available. I was like, oh, okay. Didn't know. But so I went to scan that, and it wouldn't work. And about 15 minutes of somebody trying to help, and manager comes over, we get moved to a different register, and so he's trying and he can't figure it out because it clearly shows available and clearly shows no transactions on the app. And so he goes to the back, he comes back up, and he's like, man, I am so sorry, but it shows that the day this was issued, it was used like a year ago. I was like, well, I'm at this big blue box store, enough in life that I can't remember what I've done and haven't done. I just have to trust you. So can we please delete it so that we don't have this embarrassing situation again? Because, people are piling up behind, and, you know how it goes. So at any rate, he's looking, and he's trying, and there's no way to delete this card. And he goes, man, I'm so sorry. You're going to have to call the corporate office number, and they'll be able to help you. I'm like, okay, fine. So we leave. It was a little bit embarrassing because I'm fumbling with the phone. It's really hard for me to make any of this out. And, come to find out that, thing doesn't work, which is totally fine if it was used. It's not what it says. So I call the 800 number, and this is where it starts to go really sideways. So I'm on the phone with their corporate office, and I explained the situation, and explained that the manager, took my phone and tried to help me with it. And I think at that point she asked me, why do you take the phone? And I said, well, I'm legally blind. It's really hard for me to see, but I can read out to about 12 inches if it's big enough, and, my phone up to my nose. So he took the phone, he tried, he couldn't find a way to delete it. So could you please zero out the balance and or delete the card off of the wallet, off the account, if there's no money on it? That's totally fine. I just don't want to get confused and get embarrassed again, holding up lines and all this other stuff. And so she's trying to walk me through using a script. And listen, I've been a Samsung user my whole life until I went blind, and then I switched over to Apple. And I know the script. It's a Samsung script all day long. The symbols she's trying to tell me to use and whatnot, it's 100% what it is. And I'm like, man, that's not an Apple script. It's a Samsung script. And what you're telling me to push isn't on the Apple app. It's physically not there. I said, but I can substitute the menu button that you're describing. Apple has the word manage. I can click that if you like. So, did. And ma'am, there is no delete on this next screen. And she said, this is where it gets very interesting. So this is the corporate office of this big box store. She says, well, sir, you obviously can't read it because you're blind. You need to go get someone to take your phone from you and do what I tell them. really? Oh, really? So I'm too blind to see the phone, which, by the way, is 2 inches off my face. Yes, that's true. It is 2 inches off my face, but I can still make the screen out. And I'm telling you that. Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying, because the button's there and you're not doing it. Well, I'm not talking to you anymore. Let's get your manager. So after quite a while, get to the manager. We're now 40 minutes deep into this thing. Now, keep in mind, I was in the store for 15 minutes at the register, another 10 to 15 with the management trying to help. No resolve. I'm now 40 minutes deep on the corporate number, and just being pretty insulting. And I'm not easily insulted especially with the blind thing. I mean, it is what it is. It's life. So they finally get to the manager after some IMs or whatever they do. Basically it's a bunch of stuff, same thing, like power off your phone and reboot type conversation. So I finally get to him and I explain the situation, explain what was said, and that it was really inappropriate because I had already said I can make out the phone. I can see the stuff. It's physically not there. And he said, well, my subordinate was correct that you obviously aren't seeing. And I said, listen, if you tell me I can't see enough to see the phone, and I'm telling you I can, we're going to have a problem in the conversation. He goes, no, that's not what I meant. So, you've done the steps, so now you just need to wait 2 or 3 days and then it'll go away. I said, okay, stop. We haven't clicked the delete button. You guys have said you haven't done anything, and therefore nothing's going to change if I wait 2 or 3 days. You're simply having me hang up in hopes that I won't bother to deal with this any further. And I tell you what, I won't. There's a big orange store I could probably use for all my money. So I'm going to hang up and I'm going to call back to the store manager, and we're going to have a conversation just so they're aware. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Hung up. Great. So I called back to the store, the big blue store, and get the general manager. Well, I asked for the assistant manager that had helped me, and they were off that day. I asked, look, I need the general manager at this point. Y'all need to know what's going on. So he goes, hi, I'm so-and-so, and I'm not going to give out names on this, but I'm so-and-so, and give me a super brief of why you have to speak to me, because I've got assistant managers to handle everything, and I'm really, really busy right now. Okay. So I gave him the really short version of the corporate office, basically telling me, being very insulting around the ADA stuff. And he goes, okay, maybe give me a little longer version, and I'll figure out who can help you. And so I gave him just a little more. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to get you with so-and-so, assistant manager. He was our most chill person in the store. I'm like, okay, I'm not yelling. I'm not screaming. I'm not being gruff. But sure, whoever you want to get me with. So he gets me with this guy. I explained the whole story. And I said, listen, man, here's where I'm at this point. I went from being embarrassed in the store to frustrated, with trying to not being able to delete the thing. I even tried online and all this before I called the corporate office, to insulted and aggravated and then very livid on the corporate office phone number, to I'm over the big blue store. I'm probably just going to order everything from the big orange store, so I can't drive to pick it up anyway. So what do I care who brings it to me? But I think you should be aware of why you're going to lose the business. And if you bothered to look up the account, I've spent a lot of money with the big blue store over the years, and a lot. And, so you might want to be aware. So he goes up. He's like, man, can you hang on? I was like, all I want to do is give somebody this gift card number and get it deleted from my account, or put it to zero balance so it doesn't look like it's usable money in the future. So I don't have a problem. And because in this particular store's app, you can switch on rewards, it'll automatically use them, switch on gift card, it'll automatically use it, and so on. It'll waterfall down until finally you use your credit card. I can't do that because this gift card's blocking the path, and that would make it easier for me when I'm shopping with those guys. So that said, goes up, gets his pros, and they tell him that there is really no way to delete the stuff. It does go to zero balance normally once it's used, but they've got contractors out there that have these rewards that have literally 1,000 zero balance rewards certificates on their account, and that's what happens. But it's okay because when you scan, it just waterfalls through and uses everything. And I was like, well, that's great. It won't waterfall for mine because of the stupid gift cards blocking it. Can they just please have it zeroed out? Can I give you the number or something? No, they said you have to stand in front of them and they'll call IT. And I went, okay, what part of this do we not understand? I'm going to have to ask for a ride. My ride's going to have to stand there with me for an hour. I am not looking to be belittled and embarrassed again through this whole process. Please just take the number and have the thing deleted if it was used. I don't care. Just make it go away. No, okay. Well, when do these guys work? Well, they work Monday to Friday, and I think it was like an 8 to 5 type shift or something. I can't remember the exact hours. And I said, well, that doesn't work because the only person who could give me a ride works during those hours. And by the way, I work during those hours. Well, that's the only way we can do anything. I said, no, I can do a lot. I can just order from the orange store and be done with you guys. I just thought you would want to know what's going on and how things have gone down and the way that the words have been used here. And he was very, like, hey, man, if you come in, ask for me, I'll get you to the front of the line. So maybe we can reduce that wait. But they're going to have to call their IT department at some corporate office somewhere and try and zero out something that nobody can understand why it's not zero. I imagine that's not going to be quick. And so, all the onus on me because their app doesn't work, basically. And it was really, really, really a challenging experience. And, I say all that to say this. At the end of the day, look, that whole story sucks. But you can dwell on it, or you can smile and move on at the end of the day and water under ducks under a bridge, water off ducks' back. And that's really what you got to do with this stuff. There's things like that could just really tie up your world if you let it. And the trick is don't let it. This morning I was literally changing a light bulb. And yes, there's 1,000 jokes in there about blind dude changing light bulb. And they would probably be kind of accurate. But what I noticed was, it was more challenging. But what I noticed was that I'm doing a lot of things tactile, feeling it out, that I don't even think about it. Like, and I got to be careful with that too, obviously. But my left hand had reached up and felt around where the bulb was going to go back in. No, I didn't stick my finger in the light socket, but because I can see the color differences and whatnot. But I kind of felt around it to give a left guide for it, and then my right hand was put the bulb up using the left as a guide. And I've noticed that there's a lot of things that have been adapted to, that a lot of them, some things I've planned out and things. But then there's a lot that have been adapted to that there wasn't a plan. My body and brain have just been figuring out, okay, well, we're going to do this. Let's figure out a way to do it relatively safely. Is it a little harder? Yeah, absolutely. Is it doable? Most of it is. Most of it is. Can I drive myself down to this big blue store and wait in line and not inconvenience a family member or a friend? No, can't do that. But will I get over that? Yeah, I will. Not going to run my life, but it's just something that you got to realize that is going to happen. And, expect the best from a lot of people. And then when you don't get it, move on. Kick the dust off your sandals, as the Bible would say, and move on to the next. So that was the big box blue store that I promised interaction. It was disappointing. I've literally been, I've used them for so many years. And listen, if I have to have something, they're in town. I'm not saying oh my God, they're going to feel the hurt if I don't go there. They'll never know I wasn't there. So I'm not going to inconvenience myself to that level. If we need something that's right there, we'll swing in and we'll pick it up. However, if I'm doing large orders for the farm, fencing, and things like that, I guarantee you the Big Orange store will be first on my list, behind all my local feed and seed stores and whatnot, because I try and support them. The Big Blue store will be the absolute bottom of the list, the last resort. I have no other choice. That's the one I'm using, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So, with that having been said, I get off my little soapbox there and water off Duck's Bridge. Duck's Bridge? No, Duck's back. We're going to kick that dust off the sandals. And yeah, we're going to keep on keeping on, try these new things that the counselors were talking about with the migraines. And hopefully they get those special, I think they call them starlight cocoon glasses in that are supposed to help with reflections and all this stuff for low vision and blind people, and maybe help with the migraines. So, if we get those in, we'll talk about them and see. Hopefully they do something. So, all right, onward and upward. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and just keep smiling and keep pushing through whatever you're dealing with. It'll be okay. Tomorrow is always interesting, and that's one thing that I gotta say. I'm always curious about what tomorrow's gonna bring, because it's never the same as today. So, y'all have fun out there. Peace.